Yes, I lost. Boy. Seriously? No, I don't feel like coming back. What is going on everyone, Nostalgia925 coming at you with kind of a special video. We're going to talk about a magnificent Digimon that has not really been requested before, if I am not mistaken, as we are talking about a Digimon that did not appear many times in the various Digimon contexts. That is also why the Digimon is not really known in comparison to others, but we are still talking about a very badass Digimon. And I am talking about REAPERMON, a Digimon that first appeared in the PS1 game Digimon Rumble Arena, and he was the last boss. Speaking of last boss, the following has been written in the Nostalgia925 community page. REAPERMON, or as I called him when I was younger, cheat hitting son of a a comment written by Dan Backslide. You know, I noticed that in the Nostalgia925 community page there were many complaints about REAPERMON as a boss character in that video game. Not that people hated the Digimon, but it probably left some angry people behind, and with good reason. Now, REAPERMON in design is clearly based on the mythological figure called the Grim Reaper, with its known scythe. It is also known as the bringer of death, once someone comes across this mysterious creature. Now, Spark Gold wrote the following. It's a bit odd of you to review a one-shot character. Is this an explaining mythology tie-in, perhaps? Well, no, it actually is not an explaining mythology tie-in. It is an explaining Digimon episode. Now, for those new to this channel, I started this little sub-series called the Mythological Conversation, and in there I talk about those mythological creatures that inspire the design, characteristics, and sometimes even biography of certain Digimon. The series has its own playlist which you can always find here in the Nostalgia925 channel. In the case of REAPERMON, I will make sure to dedicate an entire video about the Grim Reaper and explain what it is all about. That way you might imagine a bit more about why REAPERMON is such a danger. To further reply on Sparkgold's comments, to be honest, it might indeed look like a challenge to review just one character, as I mostly took Digimon with a rather huge Digivolution line, but with my mouth and my brain, I will make sure to stretch out the character REAPERMON as much as possible. I hope you guys will be surprised, because I think there is much to say even though there is not much written about it. Now, because theoretically REAPERMON has no Digivolution aside of itself, this video will have more space for your comments, which I will take a look at. So this video will have 4 parts. The first is the analysis of its biography, second part is the Digivolution line, the third part will be me analyzing your comparisons, because there were many comparisons that were made between REAPERMON and other creatures from other franchises, so we are briefly going to take a look at them. And to finish, the last part will be a bonus for all of you watching. So REAPERMON is designed as a robotic Grim Reaper with a scythe on its left hand and wields a gun on its right hand. The scythe is used to decapitate opponents, the gun can be used to roast Digimon, and on top of that, REAPERMON can summon an entire burning cyclone with that same vacuum effect. Now I want you guys to memorize that cyclones, or maybe better said whirlwinds, are not feared for nothing. There are actually 2 categories of whirlwinds, but to keep it simple, the most terrible category is the first one, which includes tornadoes. And that is what REAPERMON's attack is all about. The most extreme tornadoes can attain wind speeds of more than 300 miles per hour or 480 kilometers per hour. And it can be more than 2 miles or 3 kilometers in diameter, so it's a huge thing. And REAPERMON is showing yet another variant, but one that is fiery. And by the way, a fiery tornado is maybe the worst fire you can ever come across, as a fire whirl can reach up to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1090 degrees Celsius. There is actually no way a Digimon, let alone tools like cars, boats, houses, and what more, could survive it. And REAPERMON can use one of those attacks, perhaps at will, easily making that attack among the deadliest in Digimon history. Oh, and REAPERMON also has something called the Guilty Chain on its left arm, which it can use to grab its opponents. This kind of reminds me of Marvel's Ghost Rider. That chain might maybe explain why its second name is Gokumon, and no, Goku is not a reference to Son Goku of the Dragon Ball universe. Goku means prison, and with that chain it imprisons its opponents. Now about the origins of REAPERMON, it is in fact a fugitive Digimon born from the data of wanted criminals. Andres Marrero guessed that the data to create a REAPERMON came from the FBI criminal blacklist. And I think that it does make sense, certainly, even though I think that it goes maybe further than just the FBI. In the end, there haven't been specifications, and Digimon is always very connected to the internet, and just with the internet alone you have access to almost all kinds of data on Earth. And almost any country, if not all countries, have a most wanted list. But what does this actually say about REAPERMON? I would say that the best comparison to REAPERMON would actually be Ermac from the Mortal Kombat franchise. A character that normally should be among the most powerful fighters, but, well, Mortal Kombat logic does not always make sense. Ermac is a fusion of many souls destroyed in Outworld's wars, and Outworld is simply one of the 6 main realms in the Mortal Kombat franchise. The fact that Ermac is a fusion is the reason why he refers to himself as we, our, us, and ours, instead of I, my, me, and mine. Considering that REAPERMON is actually a fusion of the data of wanted criminals, I'm wondering if it would normally also refer to itself in plural like Ermac does. Oh, and on top of being a fusion, Ermac, by the way, gained a lot of powers. Let me read a paragraph. As a result of his very being composed of thousands of souls, Ermac possesses various powers related to them, most commonly in the form of telekinesis, which allows him to manipulate every aspect of living and non-living objects with his mind. In addition to his telekinesis, he is also able to manipulate soul energy because of his composition, which he utilizes in the form of both levitation and firing projectile attacks. In addition to his souls-based abilities, Ermac is also immensely skilled in physical combat. This may also be the result of the fact that many of the souls that make up his body are that of ancient warriors, who possibly are the source of his knowledge of different forms of martial arts. My question is whether the same would actually apply to REAPERMON, because we're still talking about a Digimon that has its origins from those wanted criminals, and criminals have a certain expertise in various domains. Well, obviously depending on the criminal. They may be mercenaries, bombers, experts in physical combat, great tacticians, and whatnot. And REAPERMON has some of those data, which maybe even explains why people complain so much about its fighting prowess in Digimon Rumble. REAPERMON is a collectivity, a collection of most wanted criminals that have their own expertise, and REAPERMON probably gained all of those and gained its own unique abilities, like this giant tornado. This information will mean that REAPERMON is no joke at all. The Digimon is a real threat. On top of that, I would even say that it is not your average villain. That is perhaps the thing I like most about REAPERMON. Its affiliations are rather questionable. Let me explain what I mean by that. Surprisingly shiny and metallic for a Reaper, you would think a REAPERMON would be more dark and disturbing. That is a comment written by Trace in the Nostalgia 5 community page. My personal opinion, I think it might be a good thing that REAPERMON is not as dark as, let us say, the 7 Demon Lords. In the Digimon universe, there are really a lot of dark and demonic Digimon, and it is always good to have at least some variety in your Digimon villains, or villains in general. And the way I see REAPERMON when I consider its background and looks, it is very hard to determine where its allegiance lies. It looks like a very, very evil Digimon, and yet there seems to be something else about it. Now, what you may not know is that REAPERMON actually has a price on its head. Despite being made out of data of wanted criminals, there is a price on its head. Now you need to ask yourself the following question. Who would set up that price on its head in the first place? Would it be the legendary warriors, maybe? Well, to be honest, I don't really think it would be any of them, as the legendary warriors only ever appear when something is trying to upset the balance of the digital world. Aside of that, I think that they don't really care about certain atrocities that might happen. So I am wondering what Digimon might be, I don't know, maybe wealthy enough to actually put a bounty on REAPERMON's head and would benefit of its disposal. I have a few nominees that might maybe get linked to it. Some might sound a bit strange, but please hear me out. Remember King Chessmon, a Digimon that I discussed in the Explaining Chessmon Digivolution line video. It might look crazy, but the Digimon is actually a good candidate. The Digimon does look wealthy enough and is often underestimated, despite being a mega level Digimon. Its goal is to construct a Chessmon empire, and for that you would need to erase as many threats as possible. You have to know that almost all empires on Earth were built in a similar fashion. Leaders had to get their hands dirty, and that is even what Niccolò Machiavelli said. Machiavelli is an Italian diplomat, politician, historian, philosopher, writer, and a poet of the Renaissance period. He said that for a new prince, for a new ruler, the most difficult task is the one of ruling. To rule, you must first stabilize your newfound power in order to build an enduring political structure. Machiavelli suggests that the social benefits of stability and security can be achieved in the face of moral corruption. And I would say that King Chessmon certainly is in that particular position, especially with a catchphrase that says the following: "He that fights and runs away may live to fight another day." You must be able to be bad when necessary in order to build what empire you wish for. And know that there are more than enough Digimon that do look small in appearance and quite inoffensive. But in my Explaining Digimon series, I have shown Digimon that yes, indeed were underestimated, but when we went through the biography and its way of attacking, you will come to realize that the Digimon is actually much more of a threat than you first imagine. And I think that King Chessmon might maybe be a good candidate. The next nominee I would say is Prince Maimon. It is still a Digimon I have yet to explore, but I think that the Digimon could benefit of REAPERMON's death. It is a wealthy Digimon that has many subordinates. You will be surprised once I talk about it. But anyway, I gave you two names, but to be honest, it can be anyone. Anyone could put a bounty on REAPERMON. Now you know what the worst is? You see, REAPERMON itself is believed to be a bounty hunter, as it also hunts for criminals. So it is the same as a chaser that is being chased himself. And I like that context. This adds so much layers to this character. Who would it be chasing? You know, during my time of doing Digimon research, I noticed that you have quite a few leaders or Digimon that are at the head of certain militia. Think for example of Zanbamon. I know I haven't talked about it yet. Zanbamon is another Digimon that is unexplored, but it has an entire corps of Digimon working alongside it. And you have many other Digimon that are at the head of certain tribes that could also form a potential threat. Think of Vikimon, who we discussed in the Explaining Gomamon video. Why not use a bounty hunter like REAPERMON to destabilize those groups? Now I know it really might sound far-fetched, as it will kind of make Digimon a very political franchise, but still, if you think through, it can go any way the Digimon developers want. But anyway, in some way, I don't know why, but for rather mysterious reasons, I do see an encounter between REAPERMON and the Bancho team, because the members of that team are also rather mysterious and very questionable. They say that they represent justice and are even ready to face the Royal Knights if they were to see them as a potential threat to their own definition of justice. It's really something that should be explored. Maybe I should make a what if video of an encounter between REAPERMON and Bancho team and what it may look like. I think it's really going to be interesting. RFC22 wrote the following: "In Digimon Rumble, its dialogue makes it seem like it was only fighting for fun and games. After it demolishes you, it says, 'Come back anytime.' So I don't think it was evil, even though it looks evil." That is very interesting. Because we are missing so much information, we're going to stretch things out, and I'm going to put all the dialogues of REAPERMON. Now, if I have forgotten one dialogue, please let me know.
Come back anytime.
You lose.
Back down to where you belong.
You lose.
You'll never be a match for me.
You lose.
I think that RFS is right. REAPERMON sounds and looks evil, but from its dialogues, there seems to be something else. And I would say that this really only gives REAPERMON more charisma and other layers of character development, even if it only appeared in 1 or 2 games. It's not your average villain. Now I have 2 very related comments that quite frankly I feel very sorry for, because I totally get what both are trying to tell. Pompadourius said the following in an internet forum: "REAPERMON, probably the Digimon I've been most disappointed, has never been used in official material more than once. There's so much potential for messed up shit it could get into as a villain in either an anime or a game. But now, let's make it as the final boss for a single PS1 game and then forget it ever existed." I really feel you on that, and that's what I'm telling. REAPERMON only appeared in 1, maybe 2 games, and from what I could gather along with all these speculations, there are so many layers to it, there's so much that can happen to it, so many stories it could get into. But I guess the sole purpose for its creation was to serve as the end boss of a game. Talk about wasted potential. Pixelation said the following: "REAPERMON has always been shrouded in mystery to me. I've always wanted to see it be the main antagonist of the show at some point, as well as trying to figure out the lingering mystery that is its Digivolution line. It has got such a cool design and quickly became one of my very favorite Digimon of all time." Now, speaking of mystery, let me show you something before jumping to the Digivolution session. Here is the intro of Digimon Rumble Arena, and you can see REAPERMON in what I presume to be its actual height. Now with all the rubble, it might be difficult to determine if the Digimon is huge, but the way the trailer is showing, it might actually be that we're talking about an enormous Digimon, in which case it might only be more difficult to even penetrate its metallic armor. Now for the second session about the Digivolution line. Imperium 0214 wrote the following: I'd always thought it digivolved from Phantomon, but apparently not. Well, I can certainly understand why you would think so, because Phantomon is also inspired by the mythological Grim Reaper, and one of its next digivolution becomes yet another metallized form of the Grim Reaper. But no, normally and theoretically REAPERMON is a Digimon that stands on its own. Sibsi barks. I tried to find some info about it too, but I don't have many sources. The only thing I found out is that it can't digivolve and no one can digivolve and turn into it. Well, yes and no. You see, in the game Digimon Heroes, which is by the way a game that you really have to try out, REAPERMON digivolves from Vajramon, an exalted beast Digimon that serves the Digimon sovereign Ebonwumon. I really wish I could say more about Vajramon, because trust me when I say it, there is so much to say about the Digimon. There's even so much to say about the Digimon sovereigns for which the Digimon works for. But I guess that I cannot. The truth might hurt, but REAPERMON really is nothing more than either a forgotten or an ignored character. Quartz TLS wrote the following: Hey, don't you think DNA digivolving it with Snatchmon would create unstoppable Jagras? Oh Quartz, if that were to happen, then believe me, you would have to involve the Royal Knights, the Bancho team and many other teams in order to stop that Jagras. Let me explain why. And to be honest, I'm very happy that you mentioned Snatchmon, because the Digimon is also unique to just one game. Snatchmon comes from Digimon World 3, easily my most favorite Digimon game. Now, the Digimon is extremely powerful, but before we get to it, let me talk about Vemon, which is basically its first form. Vemon is a Digimon that resembles a small alien and has in fact a mouth based on Tentomons. Very interesting. And by the way, Vemon is still a unique Digimon from Digimon World 3. The Digimon first appears to be very weak, it only has small basic attacks, but its true power is extremely incredible. You see, Vemon is an artificial Digimon that was created by humans as a multi-purpose weapon. I have to say that the Digimon is more like an experimental Digimon, as not many of them were able to get to a point where they could actually be seen as a threat. Vemon has been created with the unique ability to combine their matrix data with technology, allowing them to turn themselves into a living embodiment of the machine they assimilate. One Vemon fused itself with a battleship and became Destromon, a Digimon resembling an enormous robot dinosaur-like creature armed with an enormous number of energy cannons on its wrists, shoulders and chests. A huge Digimon that easily took down an entire fleet. And the worst is that it is only classified as an ultimate level Digimon, so try to imagine what will happen once it finds a way to go to some mega level variant. Oh, Vemon also has the ability to turn humans into Oinkmon. Now, for those who still have an idea that Digimon do not really kill humans or submit them to some horrible fates, well, here you are. Now, in the game at some point, 4 Vemon fused in order to combine their matrix data to digivolve into Snatchmon. And Snatchmon is capable of completely absorbing other forms of life. Now, can you imagine what such a Digimon can become if it fuses with REAPERMON, a Digimon that is based on the data of those most wanted criminals? The fusion would actually be the same as giving a forbidden weapon to a criminal. At the moment you can absorb other life forms, sort of like Boo from the Dragon Ball Z episodes, and you know that the absorption is only going to give the Digimon more power. Obviously the Digimon will become a huge threat that will high probably involve other groups of Digimon like the Royal Knights. And the worst is that Snatchmon has a goal. It has a purpose. Snatchmon rebelled against its master and actually killed him. Its purpose is to become a Digimon so devastatingly powerful known as Gaiamon. And no, I'm not referring to Gaiamon the Appmon, certainly a Digimon that we need to explore. No, the Gaiamon I'm talking about is more complex. You see, in Digimon World 3, Snatchmon absorbed an object instead of a life form, the Gunslinger satellite, a spy satellite located on the space. Snatchmon used it and fused with it to become the Digimon Galacticmon. And Galacticmon's ultimate goal, and the reason for its creation, is to be merged with the planet Earth, resulting in the extinction of the human race and the creation of an unimaginable powerful entity. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, the Digimon never came to be, but imagine that the Digimon was there. Its power would simply be unimaginable. So my thought is that if REAPERMON were to fuse with SNATCHMON, I am sure that they would eventually simply continue with that plan, but with much better intel, and I would say a head start, considering REAPERMON's origins of being a combination of different most wanted criminals. Each of them probably have their own mindset in one body, so we might potentially talk about the most powerful Digimon if SNATCHMON were to fuse with REAPERMON. Maybe I should make a what if video about it. Now, the third part. What I noticed in the NostalgiaNat5 community page is that REAPERMON reminded many people to particular characters in other media. I think it would be fun to take a look at some of them, and after it we'll jump to the last little bonus part. So Marine Solar wrote the following. It kinda reminds me of Ukam of Duel Masters and Scyther of Pokemon. Does it have the bug attribute? Its feet are looking like bug feet. Well no, REAPERMON is actually classified as Dark Area, meaning that you will only find it in the darkest corners in the Digimon universe. Elvin Wolf 2 said that REAPERMON looks like Mumra of Thundercats. Now I have actually never heard of the franchise Thundercats, so I'm kind of wondering what it is all about, but I admit that I do sense some little vibes that remind me to REAPERMON. Wolf Queen 007 said the following. Anyone else think that Yurt, the silent chief from Demon Souls, takes inspiration from this guy, especially the armor? Oh wow, Dark Souls, a game I love so much. I even played it not a long time ago. I'd like to make a couple of videos about it, to be honest. Just me having some fun playing it, maybe doing a stream because it's been a while ever since I did stream. But let me know if you'd be pleased to see such a video every now and then. Now last comment, Valkyra Sonara said the following. I remember the battle against REAPERMON in Digimon Rumble Arena. It was a tough guy, but finally, after 5 hours non-stop playing, I beat him with Stingmon. Oh, like that? Well, here you have my bonus. I don't think I've been as fortunate as you. I messed up! Is that even fair? Look at the damage. And I'm stunned. Oh my god, and the tornado. In my country, we call that tornado cheating. Oh look, is it the problem with Warman? I can't do anything. Warman is so... Oh, I can even jump in the air. Okay, why not? Invincibility frames, look at that. To make things even... That's one combo, right? Oh, yeah. You can't even go home like that. Look at the damage. It doesn't even take much. Look at that. Oh, he can even hit me in the air. Why not? I'm stunned. I'm stunned. Yeah, I knew it. Oh wow, he's fast. Maybe I need to take some distance and work with the projectile, but well, he has his invincibility frame, so... Oh wow, yes, I got him! But now the problem... Shoot, he doesn't even have much health, and I don't know how to make him lose. I need to take my distance. He can block things, so... Oh wow, I can hit him from the air, cool! Look at that, he has no health. Hey, I really might lose if he uses his attack. I'm dead. Oh.
Ken, we won.
Just one round. The Sacred Tornado once more. That is cheating. Oh, he can really do sweeps. He can even hit me from the back, so why not? Why not? Look, look. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, doesn't matter. Oh wow, he's even faster than my projectiles. You know, I really think that I should make like a tier list of this game. I think that Warmon would be down below because, look, he's not even respecting me. I'm using projectiles and he just stand there looking at me. Look, see, so that's the invincibility frames. I simply can't hit him because he has his invincibility frames. That is cheating. That is really cheating. I think I'm stunned, maybe not.
Ready? Rumble.
Ow, 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 ow. Alright, stun. Ow, ow, ow. Yep, that's very fair. And that's not even, we're just at the 90th second. Yeah, very fair. Alright guys, here is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. My passion for Digimon is simply too big, and thanks to you guys I can easily talk a lot about just one Digimon. I already said it and will say it again, Digimon is underrated and deserves to be analyzed properly and with respect. With all of you guys, I feel like I found the perfect audience to do that. That's why I'm asking you to please not forget to subscribe and join the NOSTALGIA95 crew. Together I hope we will be able to get the attention and the motivation of the Digimon developers to work on either a Digimon series or a Digimon game that will truly honor the franchise. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to drop a like, at least with that I know that my work is appreciated. Don't forget to drop a comment or a Digimon request in the comment section. The fact that I replied to all of your comments or most of your comments in this video only shows that I truly take my time to read and think about your comments, because they truly deserve to be considered. Oh, and if you guys are new, please try and find your way to the playlists. In there you will see all the videos placed in particular playlists, which are always updated. Digimon Conversation, Digimon Comparison, Mythological Conversation. Just go and check them out. That way you can catch up on the newest and the oldest videos.